Rancho Dirt Transmitter Earthquaker interview segment, take one.
All we're gonna need is one take, fellas. I'm David Catching. I'll be your host today at Rancho de la Luna recording studio here in Joshua Tree, California. It's a beautiful day. I've got my new friends here. We'll be experimenting with the brand new collaboration between Earthquaker Devices and Rancho de la Luna Studios. The Dirt Transmitter, Jamie Stillman's amazing fuzz box, Mike Egan Art, John Leamy logo, and me right there. I met Jamie and Julie through Earthlings and Mojave Lords, and the next thing I know, I got a giant box of Earthquaker Devices pedals. I finally got to the Dirt Transmitter and plugged it in, and I love the sputtering, stuttering vibe of like an old 60s pedal that with it all turned down, and that was my first introduction to that. And I've used it on countless sessions with many different bands since. This is the Earthquaker Devices drawer, one of many places that I keep Earthquaker Devices pedals. This is the pedal that started the collaboration effort between Earthquaker Devices, Jamie Stillman, and Rancho de la Luna. This is the original Dirt Transmitter. I don't know if you've ever seen one of the originals. Probably worth a fortune now because it is one of the very first ever made. You can hear the clicking of the thing because it's so badass. But this is what made me want to do a collaboration on the Dirt Transmitter, bringing it back full scale. That's that. And then the rest of these are some of my favorites. And then they outgrew their living quarters. So now the rest have to live up here with other brands. The Dirt Transmitter is special to me because it captures a very cool 60s vibe, very large sounding, but also you can crank back the bias so that it does a bit of a stutter, buttery coffee sound, which I love, which it sounds like the amp's getting ready to blow up, which sounds really cool when using it with bass and guitar, as well as many other instruments. I plug this guy into it a lot. I just like the overall vibe of how it fits in mixes. This is the Earthquaker Devices Dirt Transmitter through a Wurlitzer piano without. Pretty cool, but push it in, turn the bias down so that it sputters, and then you get this. And if you want it creamy, you turn the bias up a lot and the fuzz, and you get sustain. And if you use a real keyboard player, it sounds even cooler. Having a studio is really interesting because you do want to have a lot of tools to use. Bringing in different kinds of pedals and effects on things to make the mix sound interesting, for things to jump out. That's why I love using the dirt transmitter in any kind of way with keyboards, guitars. Of course it sounds great with guitars, but it's really fun to put it in line for vocals, because that's something you don't hear every day, the kind of super aggressive vocal tone, or maybe even putting it on a snare drum perhaps, or a room mic to really just clamp down on the sound. Earthquaker Devices really does have a sound for everything that you want. For one thing, they're very low noise floor, which I love. And another thing that's really cool is most of the bands here are very familiar with Earthquaker Devices pedals, because they are so well made and also affordable too. So almost everyone I know has at least a couple of pedals. I had a really cool band in called Speedy Ortiz, and they basically pulled out every single Earthquaker Device pedal and had them laid out on the floor. And they knew how to use them better than I did, because they're just pedal freaks. And it was so awesome to see someone with like 20 pedals in line. You could hear every effect, and it wasn't blown out by a bunch of noise floor, you know, like where the noise was louder than the pedals, which some pedals, even though they sound great, they are very noisy. And that's why I kind of reach for this pedal for distortion, because the noise floor is very low, so it translates well in mixes.